cafe was lively that afternoon, with people chatting, laughing, and the soft sound of coffee machines in the background. Sunlight streamed through the tall windows, making the wooden floor shine. She moved between tables, carrying trays with a natural ease. Every smile she gave was warm, and every gesture was calm and careful. Even though she had worked here for years, she always made each day feel new and special. The cafe wasn't fancy, but it had charm. The piano in the corner was old but polished, often ignored except for a few customers who liked the music. She had seen many people glance at it, but rarely anyone sit down to play. Today, though, something felt different. A group of well-dressed people entered, laughing and talking loudly. One of them, a man whose presence drew attention wherever he went, had a playful look in his eyes. He noticed her moving through the tables and, with a teasing smile, called out, "Hey, can you play the piano for us?" The request made her pause. She blinked, unsure if he was serious. The other customers looked over, curious. A quiet tension filled the cafe, as if everyone was waiting for what would happen next. She walked slowly toward the piano, her heart beating a little faster than usual. Music had always been her escape, something private she poured her feelings into. But now, she was about to play in front of strangers, and the cafe had gone silent. Even the usual chatter and clinking of cups seemed to fade away. Her hands hovered above the keys for a moment. It felt like greeting an old friend, familiar yet full of possibility. She took a deep breath, trying to calm herself. The man who had jokingly asked her to play was leaning forward, a curious smile on his face. Around him, his friends watched expectantly, some whispering to each other. Then she began. The first notes were soft, almost hesitant, but perfectly clear. Her fingers moved gracefully, each key struck with care and emotion. Slowly, the music filled the cafe, creating a calm, almost magical atmosphere. People stopped talking completely, listening. Even the staff behind the counter paused, drawn to the sound. Her music didn't feel like performance. It felt like a story she was telling, one note at a time. She remembered every lesson, every hour she had spent practicing, but she didn't think about it mechanically. Instead, she let her feelings guide her fingers, letting the piano express what words could not. The billionaire, who had meant it as a joke, now looked genuinely impressed. His playful smirk had disappeared, replaced by quiet attention. He leaned closer, watching the way her hands danced across the keys, noticing the confidence and grace she carried. The music continued to flow, filling the cafe with a warmth that touched everyone present. It wasn't just notes being played. It was emotion, movement, and a story coming alive through her fingers. Each key she pressed seemed to resonate with the feelings of the people in the room, making the ordinary space feel extraordinary. Even the regular customers, who had been chatting and sipping coffee just moments ago, stopped to listen. Their conversations faded into silence as the melody captured their attention. Some closed their eyes, letting the music wash over them, while others leaned forward, fascinated by the skill in front of them. The billionaire, who had started the moment as a playful challenge, now watched in amazement. His friends whispered among themselves, clearly impressed, but none dared interrupt the music. It had shifted from a casual cafe afternoon into something almost magical, a performance that no one had expected. Her hands moved effortlessly across the piano, each note deliberate yet natural. She wasn't thinking about impressing anyone. She was simply playing as she always had, letting the piano speak for her. And the piano spoke in a language everyone understood, one of beauty, surprise, and emotion. The final notes of her piece lingered in the air, soft and full of emotion. The cafe seemed to hold its breath for a moment, letting the music settle into the hearts of everyone present. Then, slowly, a wave of applause started. It began with a few claps and grew louder and louder until the entire cafe was clapping, cheering, and even some customers whistling. The energy in the room had completely shifted. People who had been just sipping coffee or scrolling on their phones were now fully engaged. Some stood up, moved closer to the piano, wanting to see her more clearly. The atmosphere was no longer casual. It was full of admiration and awe. The billionaire, who had asked her to play as a joke, now looked completely impressed. His smile was genuine, not playful, and he leaned forward, clearly captivated by her skill. He wasn't just enjoying the music. He was amazed at the depth of talent he had stumbled upon by chance. The waitress herself felt a mixture of relief and pride. She had always loved playing the piano, but performing in front of strangers was different. Yet, as she looked around at the faces filled with admiration, she realized her music had reached people in a way she had never expected. As soon as the last note faded, the café was buzzing again, but this time with excitement and amazement. People pulled out their phones to record the moment, capturing her fingers moving across the keys and the expressions on the faces around her. The video would later spread across social media, but at that moment, it was just a shared experience between everyone present. The waitress took a deep breath, feeling both nervous and thrilled. She had never imagined her playing could have such an effect on people she didn't know. Some of the customers approached her, offering words of praise and encouragement. Even the regulars, who had seen her many times before, looked at her differently, now seeing the talent she had quietly carried for years. The billionaire, still watching with genuine interest, asked her softly, "Have you ever performed anywhere else?" She shook her head, smiling humbly. She had played for family and friends, but never in a public place where people could really see and hear her skill. The idea that her music could touch strangers felt new and exciting. As the café settled down again, small groups of people continued to talk about the performance, some replaying the moments in their phones, others replaying it in their minds. It was clear that her music had left a lasting impression. The weeks that followed the performance were unlike anything the waitress had ever experienced. News of her piano playing spread quickly. People who had been in the café that day shared the video on social media, and it went viral almost instantly. Millions of people watched her play, leaving comments praising her talent, expressing disbelief, and sharing how deeply the music had touched them. She could hardly believe the attention she was getting. Messages, emails, and calls poured in from music enthusiasts, local news outlets, and even music schools. She had been working quietly for years, practicing every day, but suddenly her music was reaching people all over the world. It was overwhelming, exciting, and a little scary all at once. Even the billionaire who had jokingly asked her to play checked in to see how she was doing. He congratulated her sincerely and encouraged her to continue pursuing her passion. What had started as a playful request had transformed into a life-changing opportunity. People who had once seen her as just a waitress now saw her as a remarkable musician. Invitations to perform in events, small concerts, and even collaborations with other artists began to arrive. She realized that one simple afternoon had opened doors she had never even imagined existed.